You are now being transported to the underground world of Darkwave Latina. Darkwave Latina.
I can't explain it or tell you why. I'm still trying to figure it out myself. But it all began on an uneventful, ordinary day. No full moon, no special eclipse or any indication of a strange cosmic event in the sky. The hours weren't witching, and it wasn't even close to Halloween or Dia de los Muertos. Instead, I, Rio Diaz, on a regular Taco Turn-Up Tuesday, became undead. I'll never forget the veil of darkness that greeted me when I woke up in my own coffin, or the first gasps of stale air that filled my deflated lungs. Bit by bit, the body quakes. It's a total adjustment process, and I've come to accept my new lifestyle, being undead and all. But back then, when it all happened, maybe I'll just start from the beginning. I thought I had just come out of a regular night's sleep. I instantly reached for my black framed glasses, the usual morning ritual of my previous life, but my fist instantly hit a wall of satin before I could even extend my arm. What the hell? Where am I? I tried to sit up, but I was trapped in satin, like I was wearing my quinceañera dress. The typical thoughts of not being aware of where I was set in. What did I do last night? Who was I with? How much did I have to drink? Think, Rio. Think. Where am I? I must be sleeping over at my friend Jorge's makeshift bedroom. He had built a bunk bed from plywood, and I would occasionally sleep in the bottom bunk after a night out. Finally, this bed must have just collapsed on me. Jorge! Hey, Jorge! Your bed is falling on me, dude. By the way, when did you invest in satin sheets? Jorge! Come on! I'm trapped under you! I realized I hadn't seen Jorge in over a decade. What? Where am I? My mind was trying to sort itself out and kept spinning. Think. Think, Rio. My memory took me to a particular time and place. I am at my Tío Lalo's funeral home. He was known to make custom coffins, some built to look like lowriders. So his showroom of coffins was almost like a car show. Tío Lalo would tell my cousins and me that his coffins were the only ones in the world that could get los muertos into heaven faster. I am 6 years old and playing hide and seek with my cousins. I looked up at the mini casket that rested on a platform of marble, which my Tío Lalo called the launch pad.
Rio, I dare you to hide in that kid's coffin.
That would be so funny if I hid up in there, Javi. But how am I gonna get way up in that rocket?
They just taught us how to stunt in cheerleading camp. I'll just basket toss you up there. Just put your foot into my hands. Come on.
Okay, hurry. Sydney will be looking for us soon.
Javi squatted and clasped his hands together. I stepped into his hand and Javi tossed me right into the coffin. "Liberty!" he yelled as he stood in a cheerleading victory stance. I quickly laid myself into the rocket, unlatched the casket, and let it slam shut. I made myself stiff, pretending I was a corpse. I couldn't stop giggling at the thought of scaring everybody into a fit of susto. It would be a week of my grandmother spraying holy water on everyone. Time passed, and still no sign from anyone, so I began to entertain myself. First, I held my breath, wondering how long I could bear it. Maybe I could make myself look pale and ghostly like the muerte if I had held my breath long enough. After all, seeing dead people coming in and out of my uncle's funeral home wasn't unusual. So, I wondered how funny it would be to pretend to be one of them. More time passed, and still hadn't heard a peep from anyone. I began to count to 100 to keep myself occupied, but oddly, I was enjoying myself. The coffin felt like a special place where I could daydream and make my wish list, which mainly consisted of getting my hands on tamarindo and dulces de leche. The coffin comforted me like a dreamy cloud, and soon I drifted into a peaceful sleep. I will never forget that lady's chilling yell. I don't know what I must have looked like when my tío opened the coffin. He was showing coffins to a couple who had lost their beloved dog, Cholo. I remember hearing Tío Lalo's sales voice. "And this one is a rocket ship model. Let me show you the interior lining. It would be the perfect choice for Cholo." Then his voice turned to horror as I laid still like the muerte. "Ay, Dios, Rio! What the? Rio? What are you doing in this coffin? Rio?" Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. My mind raced back to the present. My body began to twitch, realizing exactly where I was. Holy crap. I'm in a frickin' tomb. I'm in my own coffin. But how? I tried not to panic, but then the thought of having to dig myself out of a grave, my own grave, brought on some past life anxiety. Is this really happening? Dios mío. The thought of digging through dirt and worms was killing any sort of miracle vibe. I'm sure I specified somewhere in a legal document that I wanted to be cremated. Not only that, I told family, closest friends of mine too. I'd rather burn than rot away. I said that like it was my motto. And why? To avoid this exact situation. I swear if I don't die again, I'm gonna sue someone. I closed my eyes and I held my breath, hoping I would go back to being dead. Nope. Whether I liked it or not, I was coming alive by the second. I began to feel my way around the coffin. Rosario beads rattled in my hand. Then I realized I was wearing my motor jacket and combat boots. At least someone had the sense to bury me in my signature outfit and not some lame dress. I reached into my pocket, and to my surprise, I pulled out an iPhone. Thank God. I can text someone. But who? My mind was still trying to recover my memory. Roadside assistance. I knew I had some sense to renew my AAA. Maybe I can ping them my location. I opened my contacts, but then my phone went blank. I shook it to wake, but nothing. Fuck me! In my undead life. I laid not in peace, trying to find some sort of badass Uma Thurman Kill Bill mojo to kick and dig my way out. Nope, not happening. What now? It was coming from inside me, around my chest. Oh my God. It's my heartbeat. Mi corazón had kick-started. Well, at least I'm coming back to life with a heart. It beat to a familiar song. I know this. What is this? Then it came to me. It's The Cure. All my favorite music came streaming into my memory logs. It was like my coffin had a built-in Bluetooth speaker system pairing from the brain, and it was all being downloaded at once, and my body was beginning to move. My memory began to spin and loop again, taking me to the 80s. I am 10 years old.
Javi, there it is. Musicland.
I told you it would open. Come on, let's go to the arcade. I want to beat my last score in Galga.
We have 2 hours to kill before your mom picks us up. We have time. Let's go to the arcade later. Come on, let's go look for some new music.
Javi ran to the poster section, and I stayed towards the front of the store where they had a section titled New Tapes In. I didn't really understand the titles or who the bands were, so I went up to a lanky sales guy listening to music on his Walkman. I waved at him until he removed his foamy orange headphones.
Hey, judging by how I look, what kind of music do you think I would like? I'm looking for new music.
He must have judged by my braces, because he pointed to the Debbie Gibson Out of the Blue album cover.
Ugh, really? Debbie Gibson?
He eyeballed me up and down.
How old are you? My sister looks your age and she loves that album.
Yeah, all my friends love it too. And I pretend to like it, but I don't. I don't like any music. I don't like any of my friends' music or my parents' 60s music or even my uncle's heavy metal rock music. I mean, I can appreciate it all, but it's not me. What? What's so funny?
You're like a mini goth and you don't even know it yet. That's why you don't like anything.
Goth? I'm goth.
I do have a solid goth radar, but let's put it to the test. I'm going to give you the ultimate goth quiz. It's pretty easy and it's based on just one question.
Okay, let's hear it.
What do you think about death?
Well, sometimes I like to take naps in the coffin of my uncle's funeral home. Does that make me goth?
Whoa, way more goth than I even thought.
I didn't even know what goth was at the time, but I didn't want to show how uncool I was, so I said,
Okay, so where's the goth section?
Oh, no, you're not ready for that yet.
He began to walk away and pull tapes from the aisles. I followed him like a chihuahua around the store.
What do you mean I'm not ready? It's just music. I'm not trying to buy cigarettes. Just tell me what goth tape I should start with first.
Right, so your dad can try to get me fired from giving his daughter brujeria music? No thanks.
What? Goth is witchcraft music?
Well, maybe, it's just mainly dark synth music.
That sounds cool. Look, I'll play it when I'm alone, and I'll never tell anyone where I got it. Just point me in the right direction.
I've heard that one before. No, I'm pulling some pop music for you.
Come on, pop music? Really? I told you I don't like that stuff.
It's not what you think. These bands are synth pop. It's different from the mainstream pop music. This is from the underground, mainly from the UK. Choose any of these tapes and I'm sure you'll like it.
He laid out a variety of tapes on the checkout counter. I closed my eyes, letting my fingers decide. I felt an electric pulse on one of the tapes. When I opened up my eyes, Upstairs at Eric's by Yaz was in my hand. The clerk pleasantly shook his head as if I'd chose a fine bottle of wine.
Good choice. Now, do you have any money for that?
I took out a crispy $10 bill and unfolded it before him.
Okay, I'm selling you our last copy. I was listening to it earlier, so you have to rewind it to the beginning.
He handed me the goods. Later that night, right before I went to sleep, I put the tape into my Walkman and pressed play. I had forgotten to rewind, so the first song that played was In My Room. The sound that buzzed in my ear was of musical synth and magic. I couldn't keep still. Then when Alison Moye began to sing, in her soulful voice, I began to channel something. A new yearning for life. I got up from my bed and with just my night light on, I danced in the dark with my shadow. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. With an electric jolt, I'm back in the coffin. I'm ready to start living. Oh yeah, but first, the matter of kicking and digging. Come on, Rio. You're made for this shit. You got this, girl. Con el fuego de la vida, I kicked the casket with my motor boot. To my surprise, the lid flew right open. My body instantly pried itself, Tales of the Crypt dead out of the box style. My eyes bulged, blinded in tears from the light. Crossboned, I let in the sweet coffin-free air. Then I let out a grito of life. Ah! Yes! I wasn't buried or somewhere underground after all. I am alive! But I still didn't have a clue of what happened. And most importantly, where am I?
Hi, Ochoie here, creator, writer, and producer of Darkwave Latina. Darkwave Latina is a fictional weekly podcast airing every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Time. For more info, please log on to darkwavelatina.net. There you can find credits, episodes, get on our mail list, and merch. Oh yeah, we have merch. We hope you tune in next Tuesday, and thank you so much for listening.